recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
Democracy is we have a vigorous, sometimes bitter political contest, and when it's done, historically, regardless of party, the person who loses the election congratulates the winner, reaffirms our democracy, and we move forward. That's how democracy survives, because we recognize that there's something more important than any individual campaign, and that is making sure that the integrity and trust in our institutions sustains itself, because democracy by definition works by consent, not by force. I have never seen in my lifetime or in modern political history any presidential candidate trying to discredit the elections and the election process before votes have even taken place. It's unprecedented. It happens to be based on no facts. Every expert, regardless of political party, regardless of ideology, conservative or liberal, who has ever examined these issues in a serious way will tell you that instances of significant voter fraud are not to be found, that, keep in mind, elections are run by state and local officials, which means that there are places like Florida, for example, where you've got a Republican governor who's a Republican appointees are going to be running and monitoring a whole bunch of these election sites. The notion that somehow if Mr. Trump loses Florida, it's because of those people that you have to watch out for, that is both irresponsible and, by the way, doesn't really show the kind of leadership and toughness that you'd want out of a president. You start whining before the game's even over. If whenever things are going badly for you and you lose, you start blaming somebody else, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job. Because there are a lot of times when things don't go our way or my way. That's okay. You fight through it. You work through it. You try to accomplish your goals. But the larger point that I want to emphasize here is that there is no serious person out there who would suggest somehow that you could even rig America's elections, in part because they're so decentralized and the numbers of votes involved. There's no evidence that that has happened in the past or that there are instances in which that will happen this time. And so I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining and go try to make his case to get votes. And if he got the most votes, then it would be my expectation of Hillary Clinton to offer a gracious concession speech and pledge to work with him in order to make sure that the American people benefit from an effective government. And it would be my job to welcome Mr. Trump, regardless of what he said about me or my differences with him on my opinions, and escort him over to the Capitol, in which there would be a peaceful transfer of power. That's what Americans do.
Well, well, well.
What's up?
That was interesting.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Came across that a
so
little
hard
earlier
to
today, and I was like,
watch
wow.
that liar. So hard to watch that liar.
I can't believe they didn't hide that one. Are you kidding me? My word, man. You know, Mike, you hear me?
Yes. Oh, wait.
We lost Ben
I
or
think
something.
Oh, I put on the video
No.
feed.
Put the video on.
That's
Pay
a
listen.
microphone one. That's Woodman doesn't hear Ben.
Hips it moving.
Work with us, people. We'll get it here. We're experimenting.
There. How's that?
Great.
Back at you.
Wah, 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 wah. All right, cool.
I hit 2, and also was trying to hit the
Red
tablet.
Q Shield Maiden, heebie-jeebies.
That was our tester. We're trying to get the phones up. We're not probably going to take any phone calls because we've got major issues, but the computer's acting a little glitchy, slow right now.
A
But
little glitchy, yep.
I'll tell you what.
Wow, I can't believe they didn't hide that. They should have hid that somehow. Where, holy cow! Let's have the kettle calling the pan black. You know what I mean? Or give me a.
Yeah.
That's just un-American. You know, you can't handle it. You can't be in his wife.
That's all we've heard about for 2 years now is elections were rigged somehow, and it's not. They don't even. There's no way the voting ballots were rigged, but our minds were. That's what we've had to hear. You know, Russia and they did things on Facebook. You know, 2,000 posts or something. You know, 90,000 posts. I mean, it was like nothing, and they're acting like that. Persuade and Trump called it. And they're like they're gonna. You know. It's all we've heard about, exactly what he said, because he thought in his head Hillary was going to win and that we needed to move forward. We always do, but not this time. Not this time. They haven't. They have not let up. They haven't moved forward. That's why we played that, folks. That was awesome.
Yeah, like a lot of you guys said out there, his lips are moving. You know he's lying.
I love you, Ben. You're fantastic. Quite true. Quite true.
So, also, yes, that's some other news. Utah prosecutors are close to completing the investigation of Hillary Clinton. So I don't know if that's Huber, which it is. So a special federal prosecutor in Utah is close to completing an investigation into former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, according to Attorney General William Barr. Barr told CBS in an interview published on May 31st that the U.S. Attorney John Huber investigation of Clinton is winding down. Then Attorney Jeff Sessions announced in a letter on March 29th, 18, that he had assigned Huber to investigate a list of potential crimes outlined by Republicans in Congress. So I don't know how much we can put into Huber. I know we've been told to trust Huber, trust, Ray, but all the names, Horowitz, Huber, Gowdy and Goodlatte penned one such letter on March 6th of 18, calling on Sessions to appoint a second special counsel to review decisions made and not made by the Department of Justice and the FBI back in 16 and 17. So basically, kind of like somebody would have to go back and go opposite of what Comey came out and said, and the DOJ back then, which was Loretta Lynch, decided, well, we're going to take the FBI's. If you guys remember all that timing, it was, it was after the tarmac meeting, but it was like Lynch had already came out and said, we're going to go off of the FBI's recommendation after they give us all the facts. And then normally in the FBI's recommendation would be to pursue charges. Here's the crimes broken, crimes can be, but they decided, Comey named off all the crimes and said, but we don't think any crime, nobody's going to charge these. And then she was able to say, well, we're going to go with what Comey said. And that's what the plan was. So, now with Mueller coming out in his report, and then since he didn't make a determination, me and Ben were kind of breaking this down. We thought that was the point to not make a determination, to make the left on the Democrats on Congress on the left furious to want to do what they wanted to do. So, but you had Rod Rosenstein and Barr look at everything and said, well, the dang guy didn't come up with a recommendation, because he could have. There was no rule he couldn't have. But Mueller said it was kind of bunk to sit there and name off a bunch of crimes that you can't prosecute anyway. But if you would have named them all off, then you would have had the Democrats really stirring their shit over, and and anyone else, I guess, if there was crimes. And he's like, well, I wasn't going to name things off that I couldn't prosecute. So it's this whole little game. And then him coming back out and doing what he did by saying all that, like, I never looked because I couldn't prosecute, and that would be kind of crazy to do. So, I mean, hey, unless we change the process, and I guarantee if you look into where we're at now, I believe it's the Democrats that got us here with the extra powers that the president does have. Again, it's always something they did at the time when they wanted it. Now it's something that they don't, it doesn't work for them, so they want to get rid of it so they can, it's kind of like, well, if we didn't have this in the way, we can arrest you. And it's like, let's vote to get rid of that thing right now and not, later on down the road. So it's
I agree 100%. It's classic. What they're telling you, it's the whole word kung fu and word porn. They're telling you, well, we wish he would have said some things that maybe he could have gone and maybe indicted the president or somehow put the president in jail. But we know that it can't be done on sitting congressmen, senators, and the president. except for high treason and misdemeanors. So what do we call that? Well, in the normal world, all of us who aren't like smoking, on the devil over here, that's called insufficient evidence. And if there's not enough articulable evidence then for this person of the crime they are accused of committing, then you have nothing. And so that's what they're saying, but in devil speak. They're telling you that, well, we could go for these other ones, but if we just remove the laws, like you were saying, Mike, well, whatever they want to remove those things so they can arrest you with having, no probable cause, no evidence, no due process, dare I say they would suspend habeas corpus, and then how far are they going to take this before it's like...
And it wouldn't be much different than being in your face and acting like, well, we don't have you on nothing, Ben, but, if we just didn't have this free speech thing and maybe we can ham you up on that. Hey, why don't we really quickly get rid of free speech? And then they can come right back to you, and no matter what, you said this and that to us, and we don't like you talking. That's against the law now. And but you're like, well, I did that beforehand. And it gets funny, and it's not even that serious with the whole Trump thing. Folks, we know why this is happening. It's because... this is it. I mean, they're really, really upset that all their crimes are actually coming out. True ones. I mean, we know Biden, his son, a couple different deals, China, Ukraine, all the real crimes stand over there. Hillary, I mean, there's no possible way that you can set up all those little, connect all the dots of her husband, payments, things going through for the State Department to get signed off, sanctions lifted, your uranium
it's
one
mathematically
sold.
impossible.
I mean, yeah, they're the ones that sold uranium. Well, we were working under the guise of the government when we did that stuff. Doesn't matter. There's stuff coming out with Feinstein met with Iran or something, and it wasn't a sanction. It wasn't a date. It wasn't part of her work. It was not part of her job as whatever she does up there in D.C. Who knows what she does? But
song and dance, that's all.
Yeah. So folks, and it's just one story after another, really good, research, and it's all factual, but nobody wants to pander or mess around and swim in the facts of all the matters. It's because it's like, well, he's not president. I'm not just worried about my president working with a foreign country. I'm worried about any person up in D.C. We don't want any of that. We don't want any of these people making money side. You're not supposed to do that.
Well, and every election, they always say something to do with so-and-so's trying to tap in, something. Are the voting machines secure? We had issues over here. And I like the fact that Trump's saying, good old-fashioned paper ballots, with ink, black ink, and everybody knows it. It's like, show your ID. This kind of stuff is like, we would think, just like we said, critical thinking, common sense, but when you dash in that Marxist socialistic Ruski talk, the disco gets thrown everywhere.
Yes. All right, so just real quick, we're going to break a little of this down a little slower. I'm not going to play the whole video. We got about 700 people in the room, so I know they weren't all here.
You guys are awesome.
It's awesome. So you guys check this out. We're just going to go a little bit. We'll stop it. We're going to break it down. We're going to let Woodman answer back on this, or look at this first little line here. So here we go.
One of the great things about America's democracy.
Real quick, those are all the Democratic running people right now, right? By the way. So get a good look there. That's Bernie and that Kamala Harris and Pocahontas and what is that, Bathroom Booker or Joe? What was it?
Bathhouse. M&O, Barry Santos, Bathhouse Booker.
Bathhouse Booker. All right, so here we go. Let's listen up here right before that, right there.
One of the great things about America's democracy is we have a vigorous, sometimes bitter political contest. And when it's done, historically, regardless of party, the person who loses the election congratulates the winner, reaffirms our democracy, and we move forward.
We move forward.
That's how democracy.
Right there. Impeachment is our only way forward.
Well, I think at that point too, he still thought that Clinton was going to win.
Oh yeah,
This
this is a month before the election, or not even
yeah,
3 weeks.
this is supposed to be like, make everybody feel great, like no matter what would happen, this is what should go on. We hand over the torch, to the next shift or whatever, thinking it was going to be Clinton. I didn't see anybody.
So real quick,
bending over.
we're thinking that the way he thought, if Hillary would have won, the only cover up that would have had to happen instead of all this 2 years of nonsense that we're going through would have been one where there have been a lot of people saying the elections were rigged, and they would have just it would have been no reports of anything. There would have been no Russia story right now about how they interfered, because I would have been saying that they helped Hillary then. So there was only going to be a cover up of that Trump really didn't win, and we'll recount some votes and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think on that, Ben?
I mean, I think they would, when they say she won the popular vote, yeah, you can do 9 counties that surround New York that can take the whole country's popular vote. So that's a side fact. But now that we all know that, and we're all here, and we're all awoke to the fact that it's electoral vote gives every state the equality for say in our government. They would most likely, hypothetically, if she did take over, they would spin. There's nothing. Look, popular vote and the electoral vote. You all wanted her. This is what you wanted. They would do the old Hegelian dialect, where they say, this is what you guys voted for. Look at the stats, show it. And we know with the Gallup polls, you can look at stats.
Whoops, I was just bringing that up
to
for you.
Others, But yeah, there you go. It's agenda, control power. So exactly. So they can play this on us, and this gets switched around all different ways. They get the thesis, the antithesis, the synthesis. It's like we like to call that manufactured consent. Basically, they're trying to dumb you down enough so you agree to give away your rights 100%, and they've done that in the NDAA Act and the Patriot Act and all these things. So we're always aware of that. But when they start speaking, it's just if we're seeing this much propaganda to cover up, God only knows if everybody up there in the big house was for the machine. It would be done on such a level that it would be awe-inspiring. The amount of brainwashing, MK Ultra propagandizing would come out of the Hill for sure.
Yeah. Well, like Woodman said too, I believe that his statement there was just pretext to getting ready for 3 weeks for this backlash of what they're going to hear with Trump not winning, and there's no way, and they're going to have to fight some of that. But yeah, it's
Think about it, fellas. Trump was not a politician. He didn't belong in that little web of all the politicians, everybody scratching each other's back and so forth. Remember, they didn't give him the executive key to the washroom. I mean, they didn't think he would ever win. He's a businessman. He has no idea how politics run, and they really, really banked on that. And guess what? Backfired like a big dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now look at how terrible things are. They can't backpedal fast enough to. Well, we're all seeing it. I mean, and as time goes on, more and more comes out too. Well, no wonder they try to fix a lot of stuff. My word, all this stuff that they've been hiding or trying to hide, a lot of it's coming out, and like I say, this umbrella, this web of politicians goes deep too, and both you guys know that, man. This is a very serious thing. He doesn't belong there, but he's doing a damn good job so far. What do you think, fellas?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping an eye out. I'm folks. It's they don't even cover half the stuff he does or good things because they're just worried about their story. I believe all the stuff I've been researching and digging into. There's that FISA. Okay, so this Joe DeGenova, he's a real guy I use a lot of little clips from. He's an actual former FISA court. He was there for the birth of the FISA after 9/11. Shortly after we went to the 9/11, got the FISA courts up. He was one of the grandfather people on the whole thing, getting it up. And I think he was a presiding judge back then. And I've been listening to a lot of him, and he said back in last year or maybe even 17 that a judge already ruled that there was a lot of illegal FISA request access. There's only 20 people that are supposed to be able to get in there and unmask, and the process behind that there was abuse going on with the use of contractors, and that goes back to Obama. This is well before Trump. This is back to 2012. So they were spying on political opponents back then, weaponizing. So we're thinking the 2016 wasn't the first time. That the first election they actually used the spying on and got it dialed in and only got better at by 2016 for Trump was in 2012. Obama used it for himself and secured his win and had all kinds of political, they were ahead of everybody, a step ahead of everybody. EO2 Dave, thank you for the super chat. The ABC agencies think they run the country. My point exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our problem here, folks. And people on both sides of the line should be pissed off. The Democrats typically, that's why the one video I went over is that we're in some deranged, the culture from the 60s, these people, they ended up, some of them getting radicalized. They were totally against the government and this abuse of spying and classified stuff and blanketing everything. And it's almost like they are full circle now, man, because they're a lot of them are the Democrats in this country that are the ones that are 50s, 60s, 70s, and all of a sudden they love the FBI, they love the CIA and all the secrets, and they actually promote to keep it secret. And we don't want things blanketed if it's to do, they're talking about all this process, and that's reasons like, the Democrats are even, you can't release the beginning of it, but you could release this stuff at the end of it that we want to see. It's like the processes are the same. What do you, and they're, the reason is, and even the agencies are covering up that beginning, and they'll tell you have experts, these people that have been talking the whole time about, they're on TV, Brennan, Clapper, the ex-heads of these agencies, yippity-yapping, telling us what they already know, and trust me, but none of it panned out. And now we say, well, let's go to the beginning and look at that, since you were even duped, John Brennan. That's very gravely dangerous to look at the beginnings, because it's going to implicate you. It's the only reason you're trying to cover it up is because your name's all over it, your signatures, all these people. So they don't ever want that to happen. There's no processes that are going to get screwed up by showing their name and how they fabricated shit. That's just their ass is on the line, and they don't want that. So that's the conclusions I've come to, folks. This goes well before Trump. They were spying on every single Republican candidate, especially Ted Cruz, we'll find out about, and it was all backup. It was insurance to the insurance to the insurance, to make sure whoever won got screwed over, because they needed Hillary to be in there. There was too much deals, too many, scratch my back, we scratch yours. They were taking money 4 years previous in 2011, 2010 for when I become president. So that way you guys don't have to pay me when I'm in, because that's real hard to cover. Pay me now, we'll remember this, and we'll do you right. That's what was going on.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't have all the details, but that's what a lot of stories point at. So anyway, what do you guys think on the whole Russia hoax? I mean, do you think the Democrats are finally going to cave for the impeachment? They're with Pelosi, because Pelosi's the head of it. She's not really going for it, because if that goes through the Democrat House and then you go to the Senate, we know most likely the Republicans hold the House. Would it go there? And if it doesn't, that's devastating for them, because then it gets shut down with like a stamp on it. There's no, that it puts a nosh, it like puts a water on their fire. It literally puts it out. Then what do they scream?
Well, like I was saying before, it's coming down to where she's trying to save a little face. Come on, how many guys 24 people are running on a Democratic ticket,
Yeah.
She's trying to save face because they've already blown it. They've already blown it. She's trying to save face so they have at least a chance in the election. What little chance they might have left, but it's too late. It's too late. But she's trying though. We've seen her
We have
talking
a
to them all.
vigorous, sometimes bitter.
Sorry,
Wow.
you're still talking. I got the
Man, somebody else slap that guy for that statement he made. How can he make something like that and be such a treasonous moron himself? How can he even say that? Gee whiz.
You think they would have tried to get that off the internet, but you can't. Yeah, so here's your Democratic Party. That's all running. These are all the front runners right now. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of 3, and we're sitting at 24 or what? I mean,
24. Yeah, buddy. Remember that one time we were talking about if each one of those contributed to something, they could probably squeeze 24 into one candidate that might have a chance. Otherwise, they're barking up a wrong tree. Come on, man. They've already blown it. They've already blown it. They've already blown it. What do you do?
I find it interesting and extremely validating that for years and years and years and years and years and years we've all been saying that every election is rigged. They pre-pick who they want to put in at secret meetings, at secret places, with secret rituals and secret things. I think it's gone back probably since the early 40s when the Office of Intelligence Information people kind of switched to the ABCs we see today and branched off to all the, GNO, non-governmental organizations. So what's interesting is for us, we see it as an unrattling of this machine that's not being properly taken care of because it's just coming involved. So what's happening with Obama? Yes, we now have physical evidence that we can shout from the rooftops saying that it's been happening since 2012. But again, like you said, Mike, that was a great statement. This is the insurance of the insurance of the insurance. This machine's been running for a couple of 100 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We lost it in 1871, and it's been a dog and pony show, bread and circus since then.
Real quick, you guys, yesterday or whatever, I think me and Ben went over this yesterday, but Hillary Clinton, you guys, who had the insecure, self-esteem, unsecure server.
And physically.
Bathroom email server. She's speaking at a cyber security summit. Or she already did, maybe. But it's like, wow.
She's one of the guest speakers of the cybersecurity. What?
Is
that
like
like an
not
oxymoron?
To do? We got this section here. Here's what you don't want to do, folks. Listen to this story. All right, come on up, Hillary. Because other than that, that's like having, Casey Anthony teach, childcare courses, or OJ give marriage counseling classes or something.
Oh my God.
What the hell is going on in this world?
Oh boy!
Somebody asked in the chat, who's the guy on the bottom of the screen? That's Woodman, y'all.
Wood.
Oh yeah,
man.
So I don't know.
Yes, oxymoron stuff.
Oxymoron
stuff.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, you think we got as many people in here watching us right now? It's like they all know. I mean, you guys get it for the fact that. What have you all been talking to your families, your moms, your dads, your uncles, your aunts, your families, your friends, and blah, 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 everybody? Oh, it's rigged. Oh, no, he got the electoral. Oh, yeah, I know. It's a system. I know. And yes. But it's like what we're seeing now is the very seed they can plant to manipulate or the trajectory of a legal process and give the illusion that your choice was your own choice, when really you're just choosing from their options and the outcome is still the same. Again, folks, it's the Hegelian dialectic.
Yes, for everybody new tonight, thanks for joining in. We got about 820 in the room, folks, just to let everyone know.
Oh, it's awesome.
Woodman's on the bottom. We got Ben over here next to me, and I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. Thanks all for joining. If you're new, please subscribe. Big week incoming. I had put the title down, HRC, that I had said it, Huber, out of Utah. Their investigation into the Hillary Clinton misdeeds is almost done. The FISA release. We got Hillary speaking at a cyber defense course. I hope I'm really
I can't
baffled.
get that out straight.
I mean,
Yeah.
That can't be true.
that hurts my head.
That can't be true.
The only way she could be at a cyber defense conference is she's trying to muster money because she's not getting paid to speak anymore, and they're just going to put her in the corner, and all the IT guys are going to throw tomatoes at her and be like, "Boo, boo!"
Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm sorry, but
she turned to the sideshow act where she's just renting herself out for public display of humiliation.
that's hilarious. That's just hilarious. Gee whiz, guys, for real, man. My face is already cracked in half.
Oh, yeah.
It's already broken. I got a big old smile over here.
Like, what is the most proficient way to wipe a server, Hillary? So, with like a rag, because that's what she was saying when she didn't even know anything.
Hammer. I got.
How do you get, destroy, wipe your hard drives? I mean, other than hammers, we were all aware of that. EO2 Dave again. Oh, by the way, I was looking because we were all talking, but we had another. So we had EO2 Dave, then we had Diana, Jesse. Thank you, gentlemen, for the Patriot Hour, of the Patriot Hour. So we had Diana, Jesse send something. EO2 Dave again. Maybe she will get served on stage. Ooh.
I love that idea too. Maybe it's tomatoes on the face and served on stage. And it matches the orange jumpsuit and the shackles. And it's a whole
yeah, there should be something. I mean, this is just asinine.
Oh God, you guys quit, man. That's too much.
Remember that joke we said? Now I'm starting to see it too. It's like, why don't Trump wear glasses? He's already got 2020.
You know it. Oh man, you guys.
That's gotta be the new slogan. Don't need glasses because I got 20s.
Oh, how ironic about Hillary. You got to be kidding me about that statement about is she going to be a guest speaker?
Yeah, I'll read a little bit. Saber.
Oh, no, wait a minute. That's just terrible, man. Holy cow.
Hillary Clinton, who had a server, is speaking. So in a true display of, here, let me pull it up. In a true display of irony, display of a clown world, in the true display of the state of our clown world, failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is set to speak at an upcoming cybersecurity summit, presumably to tell attendees how not to set up your email server. There you go.
There you go.
That better be. Clinton is listed as a keynote speaker for the FireEye Cyber Defense Summit to be held this October, despite the fact that she apparently has no idea what cybersecurity even means. According to the Fire Event registration page, Cyber Defense Summit brings together many of the world's leading security experts, frontline heroes, government leaders, and security experts and frontline heroes. This had been somewhere she should have went before she got with these people. Clinton, who had left a trail of destruction in her wake during her tenure at the State Department, is apparently either playing the role of either a frontline hero or a government leader. Yeah, which one does she fit into? Where's ex?
Isn't this all about IT? So who are the frontline heroes? All those guys that have the really nice machines in the cubicles doing their frontline cyber defense.
It's like Cyber Defense Summit brings together many of the world's leading security experts, frontline heroes, government leaders, and executives from various industries to address the challenges of today's threat and landscape. I didn't get my email for this shit.
Oh no! You know my threat reception is always off the
Do
chart
a
when
little
I
bit
hear
of
somebody
cyber
moving
defense
their jaw.
crashing. Cyber defense crashers, man. All three of us are going to this.
We're gonna go there. Ask your questions. Tell me how to swing that hammer good, Hilly. Come on. How do you do it with the elbow? Is that how you
Now,
do
did
it?
you,
What not
did you
to
remove
do?
the SIM card chips before you smash them with hammers and do those separately, or you just kind of do it all at once? I mean, what's your method?
Use like a walnut breaker for the SIM cards. I know because the walnut nut, shatter that. Those are hard. Or did you take like a stapler to pound on there?
Oh
What
no,
was your
we just took them out in the
technique?
parking lot with a big sledgehammer. Wow, so you do it
Was
all
that
at
a,
once.
was that-
Okay,
was
I
that
see
a
your
9-pound
method.
or a 12-pound? Like a John Henry style?
John Henry style. Kind of working on a railroad type thing, you know.
No, was it a heavy swing or a light swing on all your devices?
Come on,
Jeez,
people.
did you guys beat up the? I want to see the cement at this government facility where they're doing this at. See if they cause any destruction. You know,
I don't know what kind of server that is. That's like doomsday server stuff, man. I mean, we got some pretty high-speed machines down here, but man,
We're in the automotive stage You know, they shipbuilding machines went like this. Dum, 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 dum.
Well, check it out.
break it.
Like we
I
were
didn't
talking about
scratch
this. This is serious, you guys. Well, Stephen Gordy, thank you. $5. My new latest favorite channel. My new latest favorite channel that he's found with guests. Thank you so much. And thanks for tuning in. Folks, if you think about that, they handed out for all the people around Hillary. I'll go over a timeline because I just watched something again, and I've had it in my head for years. But she smashed cell phones. When she left the office in 2012 as Secretary of State, it was like 2 years later in 2014 that they came knocking on her door and they're like, Hillary, we're kind of looking around. We don't have any of your work for 4 years as Secretary of State. And this is for the history books. I mean, there might be something he's going, and she's like,
the Library of Congress, just the small stuff.
Let me get those for you guys. I'll go through everything and I'll give you what I deem to be governmental work, where normally the government would hold that. And any of us that have been on a base and did work and had access to a computer, you can go after you get out and knock on their door, the government, and be like, can I get my personal emails that I think I blended in with the government? And they'll be like, give us 6 to 8 months. And about a year later, if you're lucky, you'll get a thumb drive or a digital copy of what they deem to be releasable, not the other way around. That's how she had them by the balls. And they left the house like, okay, no rush. And 8 months later, here you go. I gave you everything. And it was a lie, because we know James Comey, that was a lie. So she lied. That's one thing, turning, they said, we want all the cell phones. Turned them all in pieces, literally in pieces and bags. Like, here you go. It's like, what are these? Well, we smashed them.
You said cell phones. You didn't know what condition.
They gave everybody immunity that came in to talk. Nobody was under oath. They wanted to question other people, but Hillary's like, well, that was going to be my lawyer, Sarah Mills or whoever. And they're like, oh, okay, she's going to be a lawyer. Oh, we won't question her. And they never did. So it was like, she got to pick. It's like, we're going to question this person too. Well, she's going to be my lawyer. You guys are going to question her? She was going to be my lawyer. All right. It's not, go get another lawyer. She's deemed, involved. It's nuts how that went down. So nobody, even the company, that Platte River, Congress sent like a preservation subpoena. Do not destroy any files you may have on the server. We want to look at them. And that came in like on May 16th. 2 weeks later, they deleted it. No obstruction there, not any obstruction all along the way for smashing phones, for taking too long, for lying, none of it. But they handed it out to Trump people around him. They didn't get any Russia collusion, but they gave out the obstruction charges of trying to lie or whatnot. So you had that going on clearly with her. But so folks, total double standard. That be one of the huge things that we get to the bottom of. Because that's just, you just can't have that kind of double standards and move forward at all. You can't. It's just not possible. fair justice under the law, not what we've been seeing.
And for all, not just
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right, exactly. So
We're getting
anything
it
else
back.
you guys have been seeing? What else you guys been seeing out there? Any other crazy news articles? Woodman, Ben, anything? I did see real quick that you guys remember that Pelosi video that surfaced about a week ago. She looked kind of drunk. They said they slowed it down to 75%. Just a little bit under what 100% is full, folks. 25% back away from that. It's at 75% speed. And that's all the guy did. He didn't do anything else, but it made her talk a little bit more drunk. And they went ape shit about it. And I'm thinking, wow, all the videos out there on Trump that trash him and make him look stupid, whatever, they've been edited and nobody, But they said that Facebook 4 hours ago today, Facebook handed over private data of that guy, of the hacker, or the guy that made the video. Actually, Facebook handed over private data from Facebook to a convicted hacker who used it to dox the private citizen that made that video a week ago. So they got a hold of Facebook and they were able, because they couldn't find this guy out, and they say, oh yeah, this user here uploaded it to this site, because that guy said he uploaded it to this one site, and then they somehow, Facebook might get in a little trouble for that. Probably not. Who knows?
There's always a trail.
Yeah,
Electronically, there's always a trail of one way or another. That technology, people. There is a trail. Every device that you have, or anybody has, anything that goes on in that device is recorded. Everything. There's always a trail. That's why I'm so confused about how these people are going to try and
You
actually
can
look
slow
at
it down.
us.
There's ways to slow it
Yeah.
down with the Tor, and it takes them a while, but as far as like some of this simple stuff, the trail got right back to him real quick, because they Facebook gave it up. There was no digging and trying to figure out who's who.
Yeah, well, who invented everything that we're using right now, and who has maintained it from the very beginning? Like DARPA and everybody else. They got a backdoor. The TP/IP, protocols. That's how old is that, Mike? That's still, and we still use those, even though we're on like IP version 6 and
6,
stuff. It's
yeah.
like
Going into 7 or something. Here,
we'll be on 6, I think, for the hex numbers and stuff. But look at that. So now Facebook is now engaged into infringing now on our private rights.
it appears the tech giant was happy to hand over the private information to the Daily Beast. Facebook has thus far not commented to big league politics regarding the assistance they provided to the Daily Beast journalist and former convicted hacker Kevin Poulsen in doxing the formerly private citizen who shared the viral meme of the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi appearing to speak even less clearly than usual. Poulsen bragged about receiving private information directly from Facebook about Sean Brooks, the man who uploaded the viral video of Pelosi that was slightly edited to make her appear less coherent than usual from big tech platform Facebook in a hit piece. So it is unclear how much information Facebook provided to Brooks, but it appears Facebook may have completely ousted Brooks, his identity. So
Wow.
they helped. It was like they wanted to get back.
So what? Now you're going to get hemmed up from doing meme videos or slowing stuff down and making fun of people, and it's like
They do it on their
it's
side against
I
Trump.
actually
It's
think
all right.
she is halfway losing it, and she's.
Me too.
She's on so much stuff, and she can't even hold it out coherently, even just in real time. I hear her talk, and she's struggling to breathe. When you have to gasp for breath between each sentence because you can't hold a decent paragraphical conversation, you got issues.
Yeah. It's nuts, folks. They'll sit there and make 50 videos totally crazy and laugh about it. Then the one that comes out on their person, they're like, we want that shut down and him to go to jail and, dox him. And it's just like, wow. They're just not human people.
It's double standard. It depends on what side you align with about how much of your freedoms you get to use. If you're on the right side, which I believe is more the conservative, representing the Constitution, the founding documents, and what they stood for, you're not going to have much of those documents that you hold so dear and those rights that they proclaim you to have. Unfortunately, you got to flex.
Spoken.
Here's one. Obama's spying on Trump is looking worse than anything Nixon could have dreamed up.
Yeah. Nixon, I'm not a crook.
You want to read,
Favorite
you want to
phrase.
read a little bit of that, Ben?
Former President Barack Hussein Obama's illegal surveillance scandal of President Donald Trump is set to put Watergate to shame, as Obama allegedly used spying powers that put Nixon's Watergate fiasco to shame. After Trump made a tweet shortly after becoming president, he was lambasted with a fake news of liberal establishment. Time has proven him correct. However, as commentator Michael Boren notes in the New York Post.
Oh, so that tweet that he wrote, this was back on March 4th of 17, folks. Terrible. Just found out that the Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. Now, this is the one that blew up all the media.
Because he said wires tapped. And that means spying.
And I remember that morning, like it must have been, March 4th at like 8:30 or 9 a.m. for me, that, Kumo or something on CNN was like, this is preposterous. I'm looking around my desk, folks. There's nothing. I have nothing here. This is coming out of left field. Trump gets up this morning out of left field, tweets this, and it's wrong. We have no proof. And that went on for 2 months. And then 2 months later, it was like, well, now that there's some stuff coming out about that, he's like, but it wasn't Trump. It was Carter Page, this guy around him. So Trump was wrong. That's how they spun it. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know how they were going to spin it, but there it is. And that's when I started seeing this real wicked.
These guys are brilliant spin artists.
Spin doctors.
Well, yeah.
All right, here. Let me pull this down for you.
All right. Barone explains that likely motive behind the spying operations of Nixon and Obama and shows why Obama's actions were far more scandalous. Both the Watergate wiretap and Obama's appointee investigators, spy infiltrators, were initially inspired amid fears to upstart opposition might win. The Watergate burglary was planned when Nixon's re-election was far from assured. A May 1972 Harris poll showed that him with only 48% against McGovern. It was only after the Hampering bombing Moscow summit in early June made clear that U.S. involvement in Vietnam was ending that Nixon's numbers surged just before the June 17th burglary. In March 2016, it was conventional wisdom that Trump couldn't be elected president, but his surprising and persistent strength in the Republican preliminaries left some doubtful, including the FBI lovebirds, who instant messages their desire for an insurance policy against the dreaded eventuality. Their unease may have owed something to their knowledge of how Obama Justice Department and the FBI had fixed Hillary Clinton's emails case. Clinton wasn't indicted, but was left with a disastrously low 32% of voters confident of her honesty and trustworthiness. That's a good word for you guys. There are two obvious differences between Watergate and the Obama's administration infiltration. The Watergate burglars were arrested in the Flagrantado Delictico, and their weapons were never functioned. And neither the FBI nor the CIA fully cooperated with the post-election cover-up. That's quite a contrast with the Obama's law enforcement and intelligence appointees. Promotion of Christopher Steele's Clinton campaign's finance dodgy dossier, and feeding the mainstream media's insatiable hunger for Russia collusion.
So there you go, guys. It's like it is worse because and
there was
people
crime,
were
at least
duped.
with Watergate. Yeah,
there were people duped. I mean, like we said, there's a lot of low rank. If you get the paperwork, it's like, well, we're gonna tap into Trump, and they start doing it. They just got the paperwork, the orders. They're not anybody higher up. I mean, you could think like, well, at any level they can stop it, and it's not right. Not if you don't know. If you know, for time and time again, they come and give people names of these foreign terrorists, and they're like, oh, I'm looking up stuff on this guy, and now the analyzer, the low-level guy that sits at a computer and actually grabs data to get to them, he doesn't, really know. That's what we talk about, the rank and file. They're just doing their job, but this started well before Trump, and that's a total misuse and abuse of the surveillance. This was one of the biggest fears everyone had, so it was actually took place. It actually happened.
It's hard to fathom where we would be right now if Clinton actually did win. It's really hard to fathom. I mean, bear with me. They all got away with murder until it backfired by Trump actually winning the election. Voila, there it is. Imagine where we would be if Trump hadn't won the election. The way things are going, everything they wouldn't. Well, for one, they wouldn't be doing all this cover-up crap, and we'd be a whole lot closer to a deep state type thing, one world order, and you guys know it. She was all about that. Just imagine if Donald Trump did not win the election, where we would be right now.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
So this is just getting better. But right here, Mueller confirmed today that Russia engaged in multiple systematic efforts to interfere in the 2016 election. And then all these people ever want to say is like, and Trump needs to fess up to that because he said there wasn't. Well, so did Obama. In that little video I showed you guys, that there was nothing. All the experts told him there ain't nobody messing with nothing. You can't do it. There ain't no anything. And Obama was warned back in 2014 about Russia and these other countries were gonna, and he didn't do anything. He actually did nothing. So here it is 2 years into Trump's, and they're still talking about how this ramp up to the 2016 election, which Trump wasn't president. Obama did nothing. Now, are they stopping something for 2020? Everyone was like, well, they need to be not worrying about going back to the investigation into him and just worrying about the 2020 and making sure that nothing's going to happen. I was like, oh, but you guys haven't been worried about that. Only that Trump worked with them or something. It's ridiculous. It's real ridiculous.
Sure is.
A lot of this guy's stuff's missing. But here we're going to...
Oh, this guy is just full of being a tool.
All right, so over here on the Twitters, we got 9,400 people. It's been awesome. Go to notifications. So we had, here's one I talked back on. Horrible Geraldo Rivera. He had put, here's an idea for compromise. Number one, the Dems agree to drop all #Russiagate related investigation. If they do, 2, AG Barr agrees to stop his probe into the counterintelligence operation of the beginning of the Russia probe. I was like, horrible idea. No deals, Geraldo.
Good luck with that one.
That is much of the same business that's been happening. We need you guys to dig, report, and expose, but you let American people way down. They let us way down. Can't do that. I was snapping on a few people here. I think I probably got blocked by that guy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, James Comey right here. Bill Barr on CBS offers no facts. An AG should not be echoing conspiracy theories. He should gather facts and show them. Should he? He'll show them to you in the courts, buddy. I mean, if he comes on TV and shows them, then he's a leaker like you.
Oh,
let's see how. Why didn't Comey come clean in the first place?
Yeah. Hey, presiding judge of FISA courts found 4,250 illegal search of the NSA database spying on U.S. citizens and unmasking by 3 of 4 contractors. What do you know about this? When did you know? How did you know? What do you know? The only conspiracy here is you think it was legal. 702s. So this guy's a piece of work.
Amen to that.
Wow.
Thank you, Paul Marshall, man. No, you're an awesome patriot as well, man. All the donations are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It helps Mike out and the studio out there, and it really, helps get more equipment and helps him do better stuff out there, and it helps us get a better show to you. So thank you so much, you guys.
So here's this Eric Swalwell, Democratic Party, one of the 24 running, one of the deranged 24. Eric Swalwell. I am the only candidate calling for a ban and a buyback military-style assault weapon. Keep your pistol, keep your shotguns, keep your rifles. But let's take the most dangerous guns out of the hands of the most dangerous people. Are you with me?
No.
No. It is actually unconstitutional for an elected official to talk to people into treasonous activities. You, my friend, are over the line. Stand down now, you traitor. Stop talking to the people. Stop talking to the people and trying to convince them to follow your anti-constitutional behavior. This is what needs to be told to these people.
Stand down.
Yeah, stand
You
down.
like this one, Ben. Mueller made clear Trump is not exonerated. That AG Barr is a liar. Mueller did his job. Now it's time for Congress to do his or theirs, and no more hiding behind the special counsel. Enough is enough. Time to impeach. We can't wait for 2020. Shut your filthy, lying, flap-jaw, disco jiving mouthpiece. We've had enough of it. Impeach yourself. Remove yourself. 2020 isn't an option for you, you crooked, cheating scumbags and anti-Americans.
Kelly Dunn, you're awesome. Thank you.
Brilliant.
good.
Somebody put brilliant. All right, Owen McCormick. Brilliant. Anyone else notice how much she sounds like Mother Jefferson from the Jeffersons?
Kelly
man.
Ackerman.
Oh man.
Shut your disco flapping jowls
She
out
is-
that mouthpiece.
Obviously terrified about something. This guy put yes. So that was a good one, guys.
That was
Once
great.
you're held accountable to higher. Right here, another good one I remember for Comey. Investigate whether whatever you wish about 2016, but don't you forget the people of the FBI must investigate and stop Russia efforts of 2020. Now all of a sudden they're moving forward. What impact will loose talk about spying and disgraceful talk about treason? He's hearing us, folks. Have on FBI agents and analysis. Once you're held accordingly accountable for your higher level crimes, it should echo down to the rank and file that justice was served, and a lesson to be learned for all future generation. I mean,
Thank you, Grandpa C. Good job, mods.
Look at this. This one's
we got
right to
some awesome
Hillary.
mods here.
the president hasn't just refused to condemn a foreign power that attacked our democracy. He has also failed to protect the country's voting system against future attacks. He betrays his oath every day. LOL. Shit, you are the one with in big trouble, sister. You really messed up when you lost the rigged election. LOL. Obama rigged FISA is worse than Russia. Foreign hack, domestic treasonous anti-Americans. So she Trump's got to agree that the 2016 was rigged by the Russians when Obama wouldn't even admit that 3 days before he left. Well, we didn't know until the election happened. Then after, he was warned in 2014 and warned all through that time. And now, and then when they asked, Trump if he would accept the results, he might say, I don't know, I have to look at it. Then they blasted him for not defending, democracy. This is our sacred elections. And then he did accept it. They asked him on a premeditated level of like, would you accept it? Unbelievable, folks. Grandpa C, thank you. Kelly Dunn. I know Ben said that already, but good job, mods. Yes, I agree. Good job, mods. Thanks for all the super
Oh, it's
chats, folks.
definitely Lisa Cavallero. It's like Mad Max for sure. What we're dealing with now. It's like it's the stuff they're going after is just it is. It's we're looking at a bunch of abnormal things happening right now for sure. That's true. All you guys, yeah. EO2 Dave, they're fishing to see how to hack 2020. Doug, I really need a good laugh. Thanks, guys. Oh, you guys are the best too. And I agree with you, EO2 Dave. I think it's funny is that we're still hearing a bit of echo and chatter from the last election about how it was supposedly rigged, and we're rolling into the 2020, and they're just like, "Hey, that's a good one, guys. We haven't used it for about 4 years now, maybe 2 years. Yeah, oh, let's try it again. Let's see if it hits the wall."
But when Trump talked about the elections being rigged and all that, they didn't want to hear it. Remember?
Yeah, I know. They're like,
and he I don't know if he really pointed at them like they're the ones rigging it. He just said it's rigged, it's rigged, and they're like,
rigged,
yeah,
it's
no,
rigged.
yeah.
Here,
now it's rigged. Now it's rigged. And what did he do about it? What is he gonna do about it? And this is like, whoa, God,
whoa, insanity.
All right, I was looking for this one, by the way. So here we go. A couple more here. A couple more laughs for those that like it. Chris Kuma, I cannot stand this guy. POTUS tells you this didn't happen. It did happen. He lied. And it's about the Washington Navy confirms a request was made to minimize the visibility of the USS John S. McCain during Trump's visit to Japan. And I put to Chris, again, worrying about effing nonsensical shit. What about the FISA abuse and spying on Americans since 2012? Concerned or worried about Trump lying about a ship? I mean, the trivial news is getting old, bucko. This guy is something else.
He screams tool.
He screams tool.
He's the top of the echelon of the tool pile.
I was going to try to find, he normally tweets really stupid stuff. Trump lost the popular vote by almost the most votes ever. And too many who claim to be Christian. I mean, look at this, Ben, read that one.
Hold on, we had a troll in here and our things. I'm trying to. If all of our mods out there, if you see this guy keeps on posting a bunch of URLs to like sex websites and stuff, block his ass.
Yeah.
Block him for life. We don't like that shit around here. Nice. All right.
We got kids. All right, go ahead.
Well, no, it's just a bunch of trolls. You know, it's open to the public, and you gotta take with the good with the bad. That's why we have some of the good mods here. We like a little bit of logos here, a little bit of truth, and we're still trying to spit it out. Oh yeah, no, Grill and I agree with you. There's a whole bunch of them. So, oh yeah, I agree with you. Do what you can and keep rocking and rolling. Trump lost a popular vote by almost the most votes ever, and too many who claim to Christian like you are hearing spreading anonymous, and it works and it spreads, so it needs to be exposed and countered. Like this is crazy. Oh my gosh, it's like the almost the most votes ever. No, it wasn't that's not true.
Who blocked you? Look at him, comes back at somebody. Block me too. Unblocks him. Unblocks him so he can post on it.
She's doing the I'm a tea kettle pose. I understand. I know all these crazy news people.
All right, let me do a few more here. Let me see notifications. Horrible ideal, Geraldo. This guy here, Geraldo, you are a fine piece of work. No deals. Al Capone's vault wasn't that big enough of embarrassment. Now you have to open your stupid mouth.
Yeah, that was funny too, though. Al Capone's vault.
Greg Jarrett, note to Comey, this is the other night. When you are under investigation for corrupt acts of abuse of power, it is unwise to taunt and insult the Attorney General. Might want to keep that in mind before you type out another intemperate tweet. No charge for the advice. That Greg dude Jarrett's pretty. I go, Comey can't control his narcissistical behaviors. It's got a mind of its own. He's got to feed it. It's clear he's guilty and full of treason. We all see it. We all know it.
He's guilty and full of, like he's been eating a bunch of treason sandwiches and now he's
treason
full of
treats and sedition snacks. This guy.
Get your salty sedition snacks
Your
for all
salty
your treason.
seditions.
You guys are terrible, man. Holy
Treason
cow.
treats and sedition snacks.
Right on the head.
They drink their evil Diet Pepsi and take their evil naps, and they're just people are just sick.
Oh man.
Fantastic. You guys are nuts, man. All right, put a smile on my face. How about everybody else?
Good night.
All right, do we have any more? Oh yeah. I can't stand that guy, man.
No, it is, man. It's there's nothing really crazy happening other than what's already crazily happening. I think it's all crazy enough. I mean, we could sit here for hours and hours and go over the paradigms these people are trying to push on us, and to us it's funny. I mean, because even when we get into the deep stuff, it's almost hysterical because it's like they have no power over us. We don't want what they want. We don't crave power. We don't crave world, being together and making our nation great.
So
I don't
this
want
is
to
a
view reporters
latest.
just ask me.
Yeah, why don't one of the reporters just ask Trump if this QAnon thing is real or not? We are waiting for the reporter to ask the ultimate question. What are they waiting for? They can end this at any time by simply asking the POTUS directly to his face. We may have to force this one.
Do they have a gag order set in place to all reporters never to ever utter the name Anonymous or Anon or Q or anything to do with that? Because it is so hush-hush, one of the largest internet phenomenons to ever be recorded in the history of the internet. And the news isn't talking about it and asking the Trump about his opinions on it.
Think about
Interesting.
that. You know what I'm saying, Woodman? They could put all that to rest, can't they?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One simple question. I mean, they did it months back to Sarah Sanders and stuff. Remember that? They had asked something about Q. So
Yeah, but it was she gave the classic the classic we don't endorse any organization that promotes violence or promotes any abuses against the Constitution. I mean, it was she gave a really nice almost like a ubiquitous
it wasn't a
statement
yes
to
or
anything.
no or anything
Terrorist,
about
old ladies with guns shooting people they shouldn't be, a little bit of everything,
Yeah, I don't remember if people remember that or not, but that was a good one.
A lot of sugar, a lot of sugar, a lot of sugar, a lot of sugar, and a lot of fly shit.
That's true. Hey man, honey also attracts the wasps and all the other yellow jackets and the ones that sting you, not only just the bees and the bears.
You know it. You know it.
Any more good questions, you guys? We could shut this down. We're going on about an hour and a half. I know.
Yeah, so take a couple of here from you guys. I know we got about 835 or so in the room watching now, which is, again, all you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming and joining us today. I feel blessed to be here with you, Woodman, and you, Mike, and you guys out there watching it. Thank
Sundays
you for
is a good day.
having me there. Yeah,
this is
it
the
is a
second
great
time
day.
we've done a Sunday in a couple weeks, and the last time we were about 900,000. We call them. We're
Yeah,
about eight.
yeah.
I'm showing
That's-
845. So awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
walk
for
the
joining.
talk for sure.
Thanks for all the super chats. I want to get that out there. If you're new to the room, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. Maybe hit the like on your way out. That helps bring, beat the algorithms a little bit. As far as sharing, lets YouTube know that there is people interested and you're real, not a troll.
Johnny Courageous says, thanks for making my day, you guys. God bless you. God bless you too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Airborne to that.
Daniel Bird.
Dark Dorks Production says, I'm going to tell my good buddy Tommy about this channel. Dude, hit him up, man. We
pass him.
Mike and I got a little bit of IT in us. We're geeks about our technology, and we can be nerds about our hobbies as well. So we identify with both sides.
Yeah, good big shout out to the mods tonight. I see Amy in the and Danielle. I don't know if I saw anyone else, but that's they holding it down.
Patterman,
like they always do.
God bless from Australia. Awesome, man. We
Well,
love you guys.
it's really
across the pond.
it's fantastic to see all these people that are actually involved. Not just here in the United States, but all over the world. I hope everybody understands that. We're, of course, Ben and Mike are a lot better at this than I am, but we try really hard to keep everybody informed about, updated too, The neat thing is, all these people all over the world are seeing what a bunch of little podunk guys can do and spread enough information to where we're making a difference in the world. This is amazing. We're breaking ground. This hasn't happened before. Not like this. Not at all. Not at all. This is and it's worldwide. I hope everybody understands that. This is we don't do this just for our country. We want to share it with everybody else also. Give them a light at the end of the tunnel. It's something they can kind of work for also, We're taking our country back. They could do the same thing. We're just lucky to have a president that wasn't a politician, that didn't have a key to the executive washroom, you know what I mean? On our side. He's got to live somewhere. He wants to live in a fantastic free world. Mike, airborne on that one, buddy. That looks nice.
Yeah, somebody sent that. I don't know if you saw that or not, Woodman, but
yeah, that was one of the awesome Patriots, the subscribers of the channel.
Oh. I do it again. Jet Custom.
All right, fantastic. God bless.
JetCustom.com.
Yeah,
hit them out. Jesse James, get your gun. I agree with you 100%, brother. It'll kind of get there.
Yeah, it's tough to get it to come in, but still. Jet Custom, folks, and that is you can email.
Joshua Elvis, Jet Custom. Thank you. Yes. Jim Bob, blurry link. Yeah, just go to jetcustoms.com or jetcustom.com. They're who blessed us with we can get it again.
Yeah, they sent us some. There we go.
Oh, it's getting there, but now you gotta do the dance. There you go.
Oh yeah.
JetCustom.com. Out in Springdale, Arkansas. You guys are awesome out there.
Fantastic.
No worries, no worries. Again, Jesse James, that's what I'm talking about. Bible in my right, gun in my left. Karen Williams, where we go one, we go all. I think.
Let me show you here.
Joshua Elvis, get your gear. We're always geared up, brother.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Main thing is the full armor of God. Woohoo! All right, we got her. We got it. We got it covered at all angles. All angles.
All right, here's this one, Woodman. You'll like this. They sent.
It was a nice shirt they also sent.
And that's the same
Awesome.
material as a flag, man. It's like a never wrinkle, real nice and kind of heavy.
Fantastic.
Good quality.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Thank
that's
you guys very much. Whoever sent that, that is fantastic.
And then
We're all on the same path, you know. That's fantastic.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah. Oh
Got a
yeah.
little shout out from Holland. What's up out in Holland?
so those are really nice. He said he's got some more coming, but other than that, folks, I might make an order. That'd be something that we can do again, because I still got tons of challenge coins. I haven't done that. I know it's a huge thing, folks. It's always going to be around them slower months of the winter. We'll get on it. This is more about getting the truth out. Stories come. We got to follow them. I think we had some downtime over the, winter break last time, and it worked out. But and of course, take care of the mods like we always do. And I didn't get to everyone last year. It's halfway through this year, but we'll get to it. So that was awesome. Again, thanks to
JetCustom.com.
Make sure that right. Keep that right there.
No S, right? Just a JetCustom.com.
Yeah, no S. Jet Custom. I don't know about the .com. So I don't know if they got the site or if they're art department. Jet Custom. Yeah, I see .com. Sales@jetcustom.com is a customer service. Sales@jetcustom. So I don't know if there's they got a Facebook. So it's got a Facebook.
Look them up, people. Look them up.
I'm running it right now.
I'm talking about the people the Patriots out there. Look them up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Get
right.
some-
Exactly.
Get some of that stuff. Display it. Be proud.
It's good
We
material.
are. I know you guys are too, or you wouldn't even be on watching this show.
It's American-made stuff, man.
Hey, look, I backed that 1,000,000%. I know you kind of made a little joke out of that, but I backed that 1,000,000%, man. Made in the USA. The best stuff pretty much in the world is made in the USA. If you want something to last anyway, you want something going to be like recyclable. Look up something Japan or China wine or whatever, disposable. Last couple of years, throw it away. You're good to go. Get another one. Nah, American products, you buy it, you have it, and you have it. Look at the old vehicles that we have in our area. The old ones with all the good metal in it and so forth. And a lot of people drive them on the road. That's not.
I agree. I definitely agree. We need to start before we start getting crazy and buying anything. Let's start having the quality of the goods made in America, not getting that dirty Chinese steel and then all the garbage coming out. Because I agree with you, Woodman. I mean, I got like a real old tractor that has nothing but a push button. That's all it has to start it, and that thing will keep on outlast me because of the quality and the craftsmanship. And they knew that they were going to be building it for somebody who lives just a few states away, who's going to be farming and using it. And that machine is going to probably have some part of touching a produce that person will probably eat at the store later on down in his life. Like literally, that's how it's supposed to work,
Yeah, I agree too.
Exactly.
All right.
But,
Well said.
Just a lot of love, man, for sure, to everybody out there. You guys have been awesome, and definitely smash the thumbs up button for sure. Beat that algorithm.
Yes, we appreciate you guys joining in tonight. We'll be back. I'll have videos throughout the week. We'll get another live show out sometime. Other than that, have a great evening. And thanks to Woodman and Ben for joining in, fellas. My honor, as well as being with all the Patriots out there. So love the Patriot Hour and all the Patriots around far and wide coming together. Great chats, great information, a little bit of laughs, a little bit of crying, a little bit of, whatever. So it's a good time. And we'll see you back here real soon. So God bless to each and every one of you. And we'll see you back here on the next Patriot Hour update.
pray.
Don't give up your guns.
Never.
All your
Never.
rights. Don't give up anything to idiots. Can never get it back. It's hard. It's always hard to get stuff back from idiots.
Order of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
And I'm glad I waited because I thought that maybe they would obstruct if I did it early, and I think I was right. So I'm glad I waited, and now the Attorney General can take a look, a very strong look at whatever it is, but it will be...
Washington, D.C. is now best seen as two opposing and warring camps. On the one side, the president and his allies are waking up to the fact that the coup conducted for the past 3 years against the Trump presidency was undertaken on behalf of a very powerful group of people who were brazen and very incompetent in their effort to reverse the result of the 2016 election. They have exposed themselves. This powerful apparatus, misnamed the Deep State by those who don't know their history, runs the other camp, inhabited by stay-behind Republicans who are overtly or covertly never Trumpers, or Democrats who now bear no resemblance to the party of Franklin Roosevelt or John F. Kennedy, but instead represent something akin to a sexual and racial identity-obsessed SDS collective from 1968 who have suddenly found themselves deeply in love with both the FBI and the CIA. Many people in both camps have no real idea why this war has taken place or what is actually at stake. Now the issue is, will the population outside of Washington, D.C. and our failing coasts catch up to who the people were who led this coup? and why they ingested it, so they can bring the other 40% of the population who still believes that President Trump was elected as a result of the Russians stealing the 2016 election, back from what might appear to be hopeless insanity, a fairy tale, a made-up witch hunt. No more listening to the people that are ignorant to all the facts involved. We're going to cover some of those. Use your discernment. Make up your own mind. Use the facts and come to a good conclusion based off that. With Democrats now launching an all-out and desperate attack against President Trump's Attorney General William Barr, with signs emerging over the past few weeks that the deep state traitors may indeed finally face justice for their attempted coup against President Trump. And we'll take a look at some new evidence that all roads, all coup roads, lead back to Barack Obama, and that it is time for the coup plotters to be held accountable. As the Gateway Pundit reports in this news story that Steve Quayle had linked on his website Monday morning, the latest former Obama official to launch failing attacks upon Barr is former Obama AG Eric Holder, who called Barr not fit to lead the DOJ. That despite the fact that Barr led the DOJ for George H.W. Bush from 91 to 93, how did he suddenly become unfit to lead the DOJ, after also being confirmed by the Senate just months ago? Now, Eric Holder has previously described himself as Obama's wingman. Holder accused Barr of protecting President Trump and asserted that the Attorney General started his probe of Intel/FBI for political reasons. AG Barr has deliberately misrepresented the Mueller report. He has started examinations of the conduct of the Intel and FBI personnel without a predicate for political reasons. He is protecting the president. He does not stand up for the good of the people he leads. He is not fit to lead the DOJ. Actually, it sounds like Barr may be the perfect person to lead the DOJ, which long ago sold out the American people to protect the Clinton crime family. According to this news story from DC Whispers, newly discovered evidence suggests that none other than Barack Obama had conspired with foreign powers to overthrow President Trump. As PJ Media has reported, in what must have been a very surprise move to Obama's deep state, Giuseppe Conte, the Prime Minister of Italy, recently fired top management of 3 Italian intelligence agencies, reporting that the moves were being looked at as the Conte government's response to previous government's coordinated surveillance activity with the U.S. intelligence officials during the 2016 election. They went on to report that all of this points directly at no other than, you guessed it, former CIA head John Brennan. And all the infighting between the former U.S. intelligence heads lately, that all hints that this is all very true, and the walls are closing in as the tables have turned. So just this past week, Comey attacked Brennan, and then Brennan attacked back. Now Italy appears to be disclosing Brennan as a primary player in the failed coup attempt against President Trump. Does anyone believe such a thing could have taken place without Barack Obama's knowledge and approval? No way. With a very real coup attempt by Obama's deep state on President Trump, thankfully exposed and hopefully soon prosecuted, President Trump may have a potent new tool in his hands to do just that. As we read in this news story from the Daily Caller, multiple senior officials have stated that President Trump plans on invoking the Insurrection Act, last invoked by George H.W. Bush in 1992 to quell the Los Angeles riots. Could the 1807 Act also be used by President Trump to round up enemies of America within? We're doing the Insurrection Act, one official said in the story. Under the Insurrection Act of 1807, the president has the authority to use a National Guard and military in order to combat unlawful obstruction or rebellion within U.S. borders. The act was last invoked in 1992 by George H.W. Bush to quell the Los Angeles riots, and was also used by Eisenhower in '57 to enforce school desegregation in the South. An official expressed concerns that Trump's use of the Act's powers would face legal challenges, pointing to its lawsuits against the presidential's travel ban from the majority Muslim countries. However, as we must note, that travel ban ultimately prevailed in the Supreme Courts. Should President Trump use the Insurrection Act to round up all of the enemies of America within? Now, some people have reported it should be very clear to President Trump by now that there is an open rebellion against his presidency. So it must be clear that President Trump now recognizes that the open rebellion against America being committed by the governor of California, mayors of all these sanctuary cities, and the fake news journo terrorists who are brainwashing Americans to hate their own country. The ongoing land invasion of the United States of America is an act of war being openly supported by Democrats and leftists who are using illegal immigration to nullify U.S. voters and overrun the United States with anti-American militants, criminals, and terrorists. It has also become obvious over the past few months that tech giants are waging a coordinated conspiracy to nullify U.S. elections and crush democracy by selectively silencing all conservative voices on the dominant online platforms. This is a legal conspiracy pursued by Facebook, Twitter, Google, Apple, and other tech giants. It represents an online insurrection against the United States of America, which is why I have repeatedly called for the deployment of military police to arrest the CEOs of all of these tech companies and force the platforms to respect the First Amendment liberties of the American people. It is time for President Trump to deploy the military police to arrest Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey. And that's just the start of what needs to happen to restore our democracy and to keep our republic and the freedom to speak. All of the traitors within must be identified, detained, and removed from power by authorized force before they succeed in destroying this nation. Corrupt liberal judges who defy the president's efforts to secure the U.S. border, it is time to arrest corrupt anti-American judges and remove them from power. Journo-terrorists who pretend to be journalists but are actually anti-American traitors spreading lies, hatred, and insanity to indoctrinate liberals and leftists, whipping them up into an attempted cultural revolution that has literally driven millions of leftists to the point of mass mental illness. CEOs and top managers, the ones that haven't stepped down and resigned yet, of all the tech giants, which have now sold out to the communist China and are using their power to selectively silence pro-American voices across all search engines, social media, and online platforms. These tech giants must be occupied and either shut down or forced to respect a level playing field of online speech. Antifa terrorists and other radical left-wing groups that promise an armed insurrection to attempt to overthrow the United States of America. We cannot allow this. Deep state operatives who conspire to carry out a political coup against President Trump, to name a few, James Comey, Robert Mueller, John Brennan, etc., so on, so forth. Liberal university professors who use their positions of influence to actively recruit students into domestic terrorism organizations such as Antifa. It has long been warned that any arrest of these deep state treasonists might be the final straw that pushed the rapidly maddening left over the edge. And as we see within the conclusion to our story, that immediately there's going to be more leftist violence immediately upon us, people, getting arrested and going down. We've been seeing that. And there's going to be violence propagated up by the left when these arrests go down against law-abiding conservatives, Christians, and President Trump supporters in general. Once Trump initiates the Insurrection Act, the lawless, deranged left will immediately declare Trump to be a military dictator, while calling for leftists to take to the streets in armed rebellion against the rule of law. Leftists will open fire on Trump supporters, bomb government buildings, and attempt to execute police officers and National Guard troops, which are deployed to defend America. Pro-Trump Americans need to be prepared to defend themselves against the violence of the lawless left. The radical left is an authoritarian, anti-American cult that also has demonstrated its dangerous lawlessness by censoring all online speech that opposes the deranged delusions of the progressive left. This is an indicator of their true intent: total authoritarian rule, complete with speech police and the elimination of those opposing views. The left has zero intention of respecting the rule of law, the Bill of Rights, or any election laws whatsoever. Every election from this day forward with them will be stolen or fraudulently altered by the leftists who truly hate America and despise all pro-American patriots. It is time for President Trump to deploy the military police to arrest and remove from power all of these people in government who are actively engaged in acts of treason, sedition, voter fraud. The California political leaders must be arrested and prosecuted for running a massive voter fraud conspiracy that attempts to steal elections from real American citizens. We're near the end of May of 2019, and June should bring the expected release of the IG's report on the FISA abuse investigation. We pray that everybody is ready for whatever may come, as mainstream media induced madness swept over the land as Americans finally got a real taste of reality TV. This will be the real thing. No scripts, no rehearsals, just a gang of criminals pointing their fingers at each other. It is important that President Trump knows that American people have his back as we plow through this absolutely crucial moment in American history. It is crucial that President Trump knows he has widespread support from the American people. All of this is about to go down. It is crucial that President Trump knows he has widespread support from all the American people to take the actions necessary to defend this nation from its domestic enemies. I took the oath, foreign or domestic. We the people will be tasked with supporting these efforts as Trump works to clean house and root out the treasonous traitors who are conspiring to destroy our great nation. It is ultimately on our shoulders. It is our responsibility. But if we all succeed, we may once again restore democracy and save the republic and the rule of law to America. If we fail, America fails to the authoritarian tyrants, and the nation will be deliberately dismantled and fed to the globalists. We are now fighting for our lives. We are blessed to have Donald J. Trump as our president, as America faces off against treasonous actors, deep state traitors, and authoritarian globalists who despise this nation and what it stands for. Be ready to literally fight for our survival and the defense of our great nation. The end game has arrived, and California will be the front lines in the coming war. This is Michael from the Patriot Hour. God bless each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. Dark to light does not come without a fight. And remember, no deals, only pain. FISA court exposes Obama's abuse of the NSA to spy on Americans. Washington, D.C. The Obama White House used the most sensitive, intrusive surveillance systems of the NSA to spy on Americans. A ruling by FISA court preceding Judge Rosemary Collier finds that 85% of the NSA database requests under the FISA Section 702 authority at the DOJ were illegal and or non-compliant. Surveillance systems including PRISM spying on hundreds if not thousands of Americans, including Donald Trump and those around him. Moreover, Collier finds that the Department of Justice showed an appalling lack of institutional candor. The FISA Judge Collier rules illegal spying did occur. Back in April of 2017, Judge Coyler found that the unwarranted and illegal surveillance of American citizens was done by the highest reaches of the Obama administration for at least 4 years prior to Trump, starting back in 2012. Moreover, James Comey did authorize and allow for limitless, continuous, unlawful, and warrantless access by 3 federal contractors. Now, out of approximately 5,000 searches of the NSA database from October of 2016 to April of 2017 in the National Security Division of the DOJ, 4,250 of those searches were deemed illegal or non-compliant by the presiding judge of the FISA court, which is Judge Rosemary Collyer. And the reason was because targets were American citizens, prominent Republicans, judges, any political opponent to the last administration, really. That the abuse was continuous, frequently, and entering the same person's name over and over a period of time. Coyler ruled that this information was shared and then disseminated unlawfully to none other than John Brennan and James Clapper. I mean, I am sick of these people's names coming up. And furthermore, the information was disseminated within the Obama administration in a violation of the Fourth Amendment. This went from Obama and Brennan. The damage that was brought on to America was just sick at this next level. How is it that Obama and Brennan could get away with being so diabolically sociopathic? Sure, they knew what they were doing was illegal, all under the authorization of James Comey, who also knew it was all illegal. It seems it was pure arrogance and hubris. They were sure they would not get caught. They were sure that Hillary Clinton's election was inevitable, and it would all be covered up. Their crimes buried, locked away, classified for the next 50 years. This was grave damage to our country, and every American should be pissed. Oh, I'm sure they all thought they would get a promotion for their efforts with Hillary, and when they did get caught, they fought back with treason by continuing to usurp the Constitution, undermining the incoming president with the totally made-up fake Russia hoax witch hunt, trying to cover up their litany of crimes, and staging an attempted coup against the current administration, Donald J. Trump. Allegiance to the deep state of America and to the banana republic for which it stands, one nation under a FISA court with a secret police and surveillance for all. This is what Obama must have said every morning. Folks, a reckoning is coming. Fortunately for America, we have Mike Rogers, who is a true patriot. He uncovered and stopped this abuse and reported it to the FISA court judge. Again, this FISA court judge, Rosemary Collyer, presented honest findings to the Attorney General and the Director of National Intelligence, DNI, outlining the specific, intentional, systematic, unlawful, treasonous, and unconstitutional nature of this abuse. She called it illegal and a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment. Illegal spying on Americans. Who are the names? Judge Collier has ordered the court to be provided the names of every single person targeted by this spying. Additionally, information on the content of every query entered in the NSA surveillance database. Folks, once these names are made public, and they will be, a firestorm will erupt over the depth and the corruption of the Obama White House abuse of the intelligence agencies and political processes. Oh, this is going to be a huge shadow over a fraction of this country. Certain people will be gone, erased from history. All the fake news media and pundits don't think Trump understands or knows what's going on. I think he has access and he's been looking at lots of things. He tweeted this recently. Treason. Makes you wonder. Then you got this Billy Eschner that tweeted, called me old-fashioned, but I personally think a president committing treason is worse than lying about a blowjob. Well, called me old-fashioned, Billy, but I like evidence, and I typically go where that leads. Who was Obama spying on? Why, everyone, of course. Consider the situation. You got John Brennan, James Comey, and James Clapper. They gave themselves, or are given by President Obama, the authority to obliterate the rule of law and the Fourth Amendment, and surveil without limit any person they wanted. Political enemies, members of the press, Supreme Court justices, senators, presidential candidates. Donald Trump. Starting the minute Trump began criticizing Barack Obama. This is all very unconstitutional, East German, police state tactics. Accessing their phone calls and emails, taking over their computers, duplicating their keystrokes, able to get a full readout of every website they ever visited. What porn do they watch? Are they a freaking private? What secrets do they have? A total police state. Stasi, East German style tactics. Gestapo.
So it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Fight for what's right.